Hello and welcome to Chess with Simon. I'm Simon. Today we're going to explore the concept of not losing, and I've played the French defence. An opening which I know absolutely nothing about. In fact, it's one of the openings I understand least well. But my opponent's response leads me to believe that he's not particularly in theory, because it just doesn't feel like that's theory. It's a kind of exchange French. Lost a bit of time with the bishop. I think this h3 move doesn't quite feel like it was demanded by the position. So I'm going to develop. I'm going to put a bishop on d6 or e7. I'm going to take a view on whether to put my knight on c6 or put my knight on d7 and play c6, permanently locking out the white bishop. I actually think the bishop's better on d6. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's the setup. Bishop d6, knight d7, pawn c6. I think you play rook e1. Oh! Okay, so I'm saying it might be better to castle long. So, white has an isolated queen's pawn. Okay, so let's occupy the square d5 with a knight. We're going to play bishop e6 as well, and we're going to claim we're really solid here. We're going to claim that we're strong and solid. Okay, so what's the worry? Bishop takes on f6. Knight takes on f6. Bishop takes on e6. Okay, so to avoid all that nonsense, I'm going to liquidate first. Captain. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Okay, so now I've got no positional advantage, but I'm safe. I'm going to castle kingside, obviously. Queenside's less attractive now with that massive open A file. I'm going to castle kingside, and then I'm going to consider playing knight d5. In fact, I'm not just going to consider it, I'm going to play it. Well, let's be careful. Let's put a rook behind the bishop first. Wow, fast chess, eh? Fast chess. Okay, so now we could say, I think there's some justification, that black's slightly better. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to just push on the queen side. Knight e4, bishop e7. Knight e4, bishop e7. b5. Look, and that bishop's fine there. I mean, if worst comes to the worst, I could defend it with king f8, probably after h6. But, wow! Nothing wrong with that, is there? It's probably pretty good. Okay. What about put a rook behind it? What about just gang up on it? Put a rook behind it? Hang on. Rook d8, d6, bishop takes, knight takes, rook takes, Rook e8 checkmate. Ha! So the point is, after rook d8, that d6 is a pawn fork because you can't take... If you take 3 times in any way, rook e8 checkmate. So just click it off. Click it off, buddy. Click it off. And now, queen c6. And he has better pawns. I think he wants to play fast, exciting chess. He's got better pawn structure now. I can't really do anything on the queen side. I don't think I'll lose that though. Centralise my king. Okay. He's ahead on time, but we have plenty of time to play this endgame. I will be centralising my king. A, to stop me getting mated on the back rank. And B, to centralise my king for the endgame. He's got to take this. Well, he hasn't got to take it, but he'll take it. Because that passed pawn with a rook behind it is a problem. And he'll end up having to stop it with his rook, and then my bishop covers the queening square. So he won't want to keep that. Now he's got to defend this. He may even be a little bit concerned now. I think I would be if I was him. Because the danger is that my bishop becomes a monster. In particular, for instance, knight d2, bishop g5. In fact, it's not a monster. It's just I'm just gonna win a pawn and have a better pawn endgame, a better rook and pawn endgame. So it's really got to go to g3, because knight d2, yeah. Okay, pawn g6. King f2, rook h4 is a killer. King f1, rook a7 is a killer. I like my position now. Trying to do something useful with the knight? I get it. Why wouldn't you? Can't be wrong. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is attack the rook, and I think this gives him a difficult choice, because I think if he... Okay, here's the bottom line. If he moves along the file, the check on the back is winning. If he moves off the file, I take a pawn. So it's a black day for white, and he's seen it. So now I've got an extra pawn to play with, and I've also got some horrible threats. So I can't obviously move... oh, come on, should we... So what's he going to do? Okay, rook a4, rook takes a7. No, because rook a1 wins a piece. Rook a4, g3, rook a1, king. Yeah, come on, do it. Oh, do we do it? Okay, prophylaxis first. I feel it's a bit wimpy, but I don't want to play king. I don't want to play king g8. Take to the f pawn, I imagine. No. Oh, giving me a passed pawn, really? Okay, well, those pawns aren't vulnerable yet, so I'm just going to push my passed pawn. Because the h pawn is defended by the bishop, and the g pawn can be defended by the king. Yeah. That's a good move, isn't it? This has gone a bit pear-shaped for old for white. I think I'm just going to move my c-pawn forward and see. It's quite hard to stop, isn't it? I mean, what do we analyse? Knight d4, knight d4, knight d4, rook c1 check. Yeah. Attacking the rook and the pawn. How about rook c3, rook takes, bishop takes, knight takes. Okay. Okay. Fast stuff, man. Fast stuff. I'm okay with the bishop getting taken off. I think this just gives... I think this is drawn. But what it does is, I think it's definitely drawn. It gives black a... Oh, come on, buddy. Thank you. That was fun. So, this isn't immediately lost. Oh, well, he thinks it is. Thank you. Good game. Want a rematch? I wouldn't mind a rematch.